So welcome everybody to this, our sixth Lioness of Light Oracle Within session of the 17 that make up the 52 of the Lioness of Light Oracle Within. So today we are going to be touching in with the presence of She Lives Within, woman with sand Bushman rock art, who in fact is behind me, and I know the clarity of the screen isn't too clear, so she's probably a bit blurry in your visual, but a very special presence and energy that she offers to us. So as we move into this session, I just want to thank you all again, each of you who are able to join live with our Zoom journey, and those of you who will be watching and participating via the YouTube now, Zentaimprints YouTube. So another transition in this time as we do. So she lives within. She also, as with Nekbet in our last session, arose through an experience, in fact a vision that I experienced while at Zimbabwe at the Gonarazor wilderness beneath the Chilojo cliffs. And she came through just very spontaneously after we had been walking and being on the land, that ancient timeless land of Africa, first light, first time. And I was going to say I saw her, and it was also the sense that she saw me, as we do when we come together with the timeless realms. We are both being seen and seeing, or so it feels to me. There is an absolute mutuality of connection, of experience, of transmission. And I simply saw this beautiful woman's face. She seemed to me to be a San Khoi Bushman woman from time before time, perhaps regarded as the first people, certainly of South Africa, perhaps of the whole of Africa. And she was sitting, it was evening, there was a fire, and there was the soft light that she was reflecting and that was coming through her. And around her, I was aware there were other women, children, grandmothers. In fact, she felt she was a grandmother. However, she was quite young. And there were rock walls behind her, softly lit by the flames of the fire. And there was the sense of the sound of the chatter, the connectivity, the conversations of women at that time of the evening, perhaps sharing stories, laughing, relaxing into the evening after the day has been, fulfilled. And she simply looked at me, and I feel very teary now, with such purity of love, a serenity that has known suffering and the all that is, and yet the serenity, the quietude, the lightness of her presence, the timelessness, the eternity of peace, of having witnessed and lived all with a gentle heart. And yet, as I said, it didn't in any way diminish any of the suffering that she had known, that she had carried, that she had witnessed. Indeed, as all the women and even the children, had known and witnessed and been of spirit embodied in matter, the livingness of our human life as embodied form. And so it was exquisite. Her eyes were so soft and dark, and yet with the light shining through, these beautiful soft brown eyes that were like mirrors. So she impressed herself so within my heart and my body. And just in that instant of seeing her, there was conveyed this transmission that she was gifting of the quality, of a quality, of how to be within the timeless self, somehow detached and yet fully embodied with humility and loving compassion and the patience to be and to journey through all that our life can be, with all its unknown and with all its challenges, its unexpected events, and also those things that travel with us for long periods of time that perhaps pull at our heart, that cause ache in the heart, the sorrows that we carry, the losses we have experienced. So I really honor her and give thanks to She Lives Within, woman with Sam Bushman rock art, because the rock art was held in her body. When I see rock art, I see it and feel it through her body, through her gaze, through her presence. And we are her. She is within us. And that was one of the things she really strongly wanted to convey, to share, and for us to know. So I will begin by sharing, reading the seed essence, the voice of spirit, and her counsel as she gifted to me and as I was able to receive it, because of course it's also ourselves as vessels receiving through the filter of all that we are and all that we are not. And then I will guide us into a very gentle, beautiful, quiet meditation journey, which I hope offers to you some sense of coming into that stillness and that exquisite beauty that she is. Seed essence. Our eyes meet, her eyes shining dark, filled with light. I hear her say, I see you, and I see you seeing me. Through time and space we meet, here in the distant past. Please remember me and know I am still here. Voice of Spirit. I have sat here waiting for you, knowing you would come one day. There is no rush, for time is non-existent. I am inside of you, and yet reside in the realm of dreaming and first light from which we are all born. I sing to you now as you are my very self. Counsel. She brings her love to you through beyond time. She comes to you from within and through the ancient past that is yours. She has known laughter and sorrow, times of lack, times of plenty, times of suffering, times of peace. She has sat with the women, the elders, and the children through all and more. She instructs you to do this now for yourself. There is a lightness of being she transmits while sharing with you this open presence to all that is within you, to all that you have lived, to all that is. Hand on her heart, fingers touching to the ankle. Walk with your heart. Do not be afraid. I am with you, she whispers, across the sands of time. She tends the fire that gives warmth and cooks the food, the fire that throws soft light into the shadows. The leopard or lioness that is her familiar is painted on the rock wall behind her. It watches her back. The animal skin that is draped across her body can be adapted to carry grasses, seeds, and water. The beads about her neck have been worn since she was initiated many seasons and cycles ago. She offers all this to you now as you gently touch within and journey back to a time that holds memory of how it was to live with simplicity of being, in acceptance and trust. You are called to remember this quality and how refined and exquisite it is, how complete. Swift as a cheetah or eland she can run, climbing the ropes to God she can heal, tending with gentle reverence the needs of herself and others. She caresses your brow and wipes away your tears. Lean into her. Another aspect of what I'd like to bring into this session for us to take into our meditation journey that is within the oracle, the 3 oracles that she holds, because each of the 17 oracles actually hold 3. And then there's +1, which is a wild card that make up the 52. And this is from the oracle of her called Touching the Earth. And just a couple of sentences. Bring your attention off anything or anyone that is causing you anxiety or strain and return it to yourself in quiet, loving care. Rest with this attention, this loving kindness toward the self. This is the way of the felt heart, able to shine its light through uncertainty, darkness, or confusion. Know that through this practice, a pathway of healing will unfold that will carry you forward. So it felt appropriate to bring that into our session today at this time, with whatever it is we are ourselves holding and journeying with, both joy and new awakenings and sense of deepening, and also any sadnesses, grief, or doubts that we're still moving through or shedding or allowing to come to the surface so that we may release and heal, move deeper into our personal healing journey, so that trust and gentle knowing that she offers to us, to you. And then, of course, with all that is occurring on the planet at this time, again, the great shedding, the great almost contraction as we move through this latter phase of the birthing, which can feel incredibly like a great compression, and as though a lot that is incredibly uncertain and perhaps even frightening is arising. And yet knowing that through this, we are indeed birthing our new world, you know, our new ancient future consciousness of guidance and grounding through the divine feminine, the sacred feminine, in balance with the sacred masculine. So perhaps closing your eyes now, settling within, allowing everything to settle in this moment, making contact with the in-breath and the out-breath, and allowing your own natural rhythm of breathing, of breath, to come unto itself, through you, with you, in this moment. The quietening, and perhaps still being aware of thoughts or energies or sensations arising through you in this moment, discharging even as the static kind of discharges itself as you offer and come into this quietening, this bringing in your awareness and allowing to be in this moment as you are, with all that you are, not resisting, letting go of judgment, the allowing, in truth, gentleness with this moment as you are. And I invite you now to perhaps journey to a place where you find yourself seated on the earth, the warmth, the texture of the ground underneath your hips, perhaps your hands beside you, making contact with the earth, palm, your palm to the open palm of Mother Earth, of the ground. And it is evening, and you become aware now of a soft light and warmth, perhaps of a fire, a little campfire that you are seated close beside. The sound of the flames as they gently crack and sparkle. The smell, the fragrance of the wood smoke. Perhaps there have been herbs or seeds having been cooked in the fire, and there is that sweet, earthy fragrance in the air. Your body feels complete ease, warmed by the fire, the soft light. You can feel the light of the stars above you and the deep, dark universe, the blanket above, that celestial realm, sending its loving radiance as you sit upon the earth. And as you, in your dreaming, open your eyes, you see now, perhaps a little in the distance or close about you, the figures of other women and children, perhaps babies, everyone quietly relaxing into the evening, into the night, at this time of softening. And before you, across from the fire perhaps, there is one figure whom your eyes are drawn to, and she sits with such gentle stillness and quietude. Your eyes receive now her gaze, the light shining from her eyes so softly as she smiles at you in greeting. You feel the warmth, the loving kindness of her heart, and take in the qualities of her being, her beautiful skin lit by the light of the fire, shining softly, her hair. Perhaps she is naked, or perhaps she has some kind of animal skin or cloth about her body, perhaps a simple string of beads, allowing her presence and the details of her physical self to come into your awareness, to meet with her. Without words, she greets you as you greet her, a kind of timeless recognition born through the mystery of the dreaming of eternity that is ever present. Perhaps now you begin to feel as if you are both breathing with the same slow, quiet rhythm, touching through the breath, through the stillness within each of your presence, that light, that soft, eternal radiance of being within that you share because you are of this together as one. So taking some time now to simply sit, to rest within the quietness, the stillness, the soft dance or singing of this moment. She lives within. Together we sit. She lives within, in the timeless realm. And she reminds us of those things that sustain us, that bring us joy, that connect us to the earth, that remind us of laughter, the lightness of being that can still exist, yet even within and through the most difficult times. What a miracle this is. Receiving from her now any gifts that she would like to offer to you, things she would like to remind you of, for you to carry with you, to take and receive from her in this moment. And perhaps now beginning to take your leave, and yet, of course, there is no leave taking, for she lives within, ever present. And as you shine your light upon her presence, she rejoices and shines her light, her presence upon you and through you. Receiving this gift, this nurturing. And perhaps you might today or tomorrow or this evening, whatever time it is that's unfolding for you now, find something that is a way that you can honor and be reminded of her presence within, of her eternal presence through all the Indigenous people, all the Indigenous women that have been and are and will be through all time, that we are each born of. That quality of hers, that particular quality that she offers and offered you through you. It might be creating a little altar or placing a flower or a seed in a special bowl or a small stone. Whatever it is that reminds you of her, brings her into your body awareness. Perhaps even a little exquisite string of beads, something, whatever comes to you, for you, would be a beautiful gesture toward yourself, and she lives within. So I invite you to be with her, to know her, and I thank you so much for joining with me through this tender session that we have shared together. And what a beautiful thing it is. Yeah, I honor each of you and so much gratitude. And I look forward to our next session, which will be our 7th. And through this session, we will be connecting with and entering into the realm of Purnalulu dreaming. So, a most sacred place in Western Australia, known as the Bungle Bungle Ranges to many, but for the traditional people, it is Purnalulu or Burnalulu. And Purnalulu dreaming, that's going to be quite a journey, a flight perhaps, deep into ancient time, and also the beauty and the gift of your own flight, your own wings of dreaming. And the Pleiades connected and held through the gossamer light of the Pleiades, and a very special story that I so look forward to sharing with you, to do with a very special dilly bag basket. So much love, so much gratitude, and I really look forward to sitting with you again in our next session, Purnalulu Dreaming. Big love, blessings.